Boom, shakalaka boom. You're tuned in to the free range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios on a Monday morning here in central Mississippi, streaming worldwide at Save JXN on Facebook, X, and YouTube. I'm sorry, we're not on Facebook. On YouTube, X, and Rumble. However, the Rumble is Clay Edwards Show. Good to be back. Took Friday off. Went to the concert. Went to that Hardy concert Thursday night. And just honestly, I just needed a day. It was planned. It was planned. I just needed a day. And it wasn't because I went out and did too much drinking or anything like that. I just needed, my brain needed to decompress. Last week was just, it was a lot, man. It was a lot. And I appreciate my friends and family. I do. But sometimes you guys add a little more stress to the situation than may be necessary. If I got one phone call and text telling me to watch my back and get a bulletproof vest and all these other things, I got 1,000 that said that. And, of course, I know everybody means well, and it comes from a place of great intention, but it also creates a ton of undue stress. So let me just say this moving forward. I know that these people want to kill me. I'm well aware. I read my DMs. You know, I'm the one that has the confrontations out in public with people that I don't tell you all about. You know, I'm the one that has the conversations with law enforcement that I don't tell you all about. When they find dope boys and arrest them and they got videos of me getting in and out of my vehicle at grocery stores in Rankin County. I'm very aware that these people want to kill Clay Edwards. So I'm just throwing that out there. While I do appreciate all of y'all and your care about me, just know that nobody's more aware than me, that the people out there don't like me. And I'm no Charlie Kirk. Obviously, nowhere near that level. Most likely will never be that big. I probably have a better chance of winning the Powerball than becoming as famous as Charlie Kirk, or as internationally loved as Charlie Kirk, or internationally as hated. But man, I sure hope so. Look, so I've gone through a wide range of emotions. I've gone through a wide range of emotions on this Charlie Kirk thing. And I know we've all weekend. Did I mention that we're on 103.9 FM WYAB? Have I said that yet? You know who else is going to be on this station before I go any further? Today, 2 to 4 p.m. Did most of y'all even know that this was the home of Charlie Kirk here in central Mississippi? Did y'all even know that? 2 to 4 every day, right here, in this very seat. Well, not this seat literally, but in this very airwave that I'm currently taking up. Charlie Kirk did his radio show from 2 to 4 p.m. Today, our Vice President, J.D. Vance, is going to be filling in that seat live from the White House right here on this radio station in Jackson, Mississippi. I cannot wait to listen to J.D. Vance fill in for, well, I don't know if is it considered filling in for when it's no longer, when he's never coming back, whatever, for the sake of lack of a better term, that's what we'll call it. Filling in for Charlie Kirk, or guest hosting the Charlie Kirk show. How about that? So, circling back, I don't even remember exactly what I was saying, ranting and raving about these people wanting to kill me. Oh, yes, I know what I was going to say. We've gone through a wide range of emotions over the last week, 5 days, 6 days, whatever it's been, since Wednesday when Kirk got killed. And what I've come up with is I see the people on the left celebrating. And we're going to talk a lot about that today. We're going to talk a lot about cancel culture eating its creator. It's like Dr. Frankenstein getting killed by Frankenstein. The very monster they created has come home to kill them. Oh, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. And also, I think there's a difference in cancel culture, and there's a difference in effing around and finding out But I say all that to say this. We can all only hope to live our lives in a manner that agitates the demonic left so much that they dance a jig and celebrate when one of us die. I don't want the left or anybody on it that's involved in any of this nonsense to have a moment of sympathy or empathy for me if I die. I want them to dance a jig that one of their harshest critics and biggest enemies, one of the number one soldiers on the front line of this culture war, died. Their life just got a little easier because Clay Edwards died. That's what I want them to think if I die before I feel like it's my time. So Charlie Kirk couldn't be in a better place as far as I'm concerned. The people that loved him are mourning him. The people that hated him and that hate everything, hate themselves, they're dancing a jig. But you know what? Tomorrow's going to come. The next day is going to come. The next day is going to come. And those very people, they're still going to hate themselves. They're still going to look in that mirror and hate the person looking back at them with their bull ring through their nose. And I know we got some conservatives with bull rings with their noses too. I'm not talking to y'all. Y'all's bull rings look good. They're still going to hate themselves, and that is the crux of what's wrong with these people. They don't hate us. They hate themselves so much that they have to deflect that and pretend it's us that they hate. So I 100% have changed my mind a little bit on this over the last few days. Because, you know, it takes a little bit to process everything that's happened and everything that's going on. And we're going to dance on the graves of these liberals' jobs, their former employments today. We're going to do a little bit of jigging ourselves this morning. It's a celebration this morning. We ain't going to cry. We ain't going to be sad this morning. That was over the weekend. That's going to be this coming up Sunday when we watch Charlie's funeral with over 100,000 other people that are going to be in attendance at the Arizona Cardinals football stadium there in Glendale, Arizona. Let me ask y'all a question. And literally, I'm not even in the planning stages of this. I don't know. I haven't looked at the time zones. But they're having the funeral. It's open to the public. The gates open at 8:30. The funeral starts at 11:30. If anybody out there can find out what time that will be airing in the Central Time Zone, text me and let me know. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. I got an idea working in my head here, and I'm doing this in live time with y'all. What if the time zones worked out right, and it's somewhere between 10:30 and 11:30 our time that the funeral starts? What if we had a gathering spot and we watched it together? And what if, and it's going to have to be in a bar or a restaurant because they got a bunch of TVs, not a church, because it's actually going to be going on during church time. But I'm just saying there's a lot of us that don't necessarily go to church every Sunday that might be interested in getting together and maybe watching this Charlie Kirk memorial together. And maybe, is there a pastor out there? Is there somebody that's good enough with the word that could lead us in a little prayer? I got a location or two in mind, but I need to get the time zone thing right to see if it's even possible. And then I'll talk to the owners of the different facilities. I got number one, I got number two, and I got number three. Kind of work my way down the list of where I think may be a good place for it. Of course, they're all sponsors of the Clay Edwards Show. I see my Guns and Gear text dinging up here. Yeah, Thomas Powell says Cypress Point would be great. Yeah, Cypress Point is kind of my first thought process. It's just got a big parking lot. It's wide open. It's got a little stage back in the back. And I think it's centrally located to kind of who I think would come to this thing. A lot of folks from Rankin County. So that's kind of where my head's at initially. I went by there yesterday, and I was going to talk to Kelly about it, but it was so packed that, not packed, it was so loud I couldn't talk to her. But I think that makes the most sense as Destination 1. It just got that vibe. Even if it just got all the TVs. Yeah, it's got that outdoor patio and stuff. I don't know. That's just the vibe I get out there, that it's a good fit. But I don't know. I'm just thinking. I literally started thinking about this yesterday, and it was gnawing on me coming in this morning. I think it's a great opportunity for a bunch of us to get together and celebrate the life of Charlie Kirk and get to know each other, man. Get to know people, like-minded people that think the same way as you do. You know, I spend a lot of time by myself. My circle of friends is more like a period at the end of a sentence. And I've been saying that for years now, but it's very true, especially when I'm single. You know, I just don't have a lot of people I consider real friends. And that's for good reason, because there's not a lot of people in your life who are real friends. And I don't have a lot of time for filler friends. I don't like small talk, and I don't have a lot of time for filler friends. I like people that I know are ride or die, so to say. And they can't always be my bosom buddy and go hang out with me, because, you know, they're busy also. But I don't know. I just thought it'd be a great opportunity for us to get together, get away from our phones, get away from the computers, and kind of send Charlie out in style. All right, let's go ahead and take a break real quick. When we come back, your boy had several videos go nuclear viral over the weekend. And I want to talk about one of them, the lady up there in Oxford, Mississippi, who did a little bit of effing around and finding out in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death. Because lefties, they just can't keep their mouths shut. Their moral superiority, they got to let you know that they think they're just a little smarter than the rest of us. Boy, the right has been sitting back in the cut for the last 10 years almost, just waiting to whoosh, smack the left upside the head with the bullwhip known as cancel culture. Just waiting to execute it on y'all one good time before we retire this ugly monster. And I'm here for it. Now, I'm not partaking in it, but I am celebrating it as we scratch them off the list. Another one bites the dust. Hee. Oh, the left can't help themselves. They're just lining up like drinking the Kool-Aid at a Jim Jones party. Yeah, what I'm going to say isn't going to get me canceled. See, because I'm smarter than you. And, you know, they got to talk zesty when you imitate a lefty, because they all talk zesty on the male side. And on the female side, they all like Miss Ballbreaker from Porky's. Anyway, we'll be right back. We're live in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios this morning here on the compound known as WYAB 103.9 FM. We're streaming worldwide. If you're watching on the internet, hit that share button, hit that like button. Let everybody know that we got 3 hours this morning of nonstop incendiary action. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. Streaming worldwide, WYAB.com. And at SaveJXN for stunning HD on X, YouTube, and at Clay Edwards Show on Rumble. We are pumping across the airwaves here in Central Mississippi on 103.9 FM, WYAB. If you guys want to call in this morning and speak your mind on Charlie Kirk stuff and the reaction and the fallout and everything else, the Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. Don't forget Mazda of Jackson for all of your new car needs. Did you know that Mazda of Jackson generally has interest rates starting as low as 0.9%? It does fluctuate month to month, so check out MazdaofJackson.com to see the exact rates that are available right now. But you're not going to get that on any used car anywhere. So if you're in the market for a new car and interest rates are your thing, and hey, they definitely should be. If you got good credit, you deserve to take advantage of that good credit and pay low interest rates. And at Mazda Jackson, they've got some kind of great APR special every month. Also, every new car comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty, and that's no gimmick. That is no gimmick at all. Those things are legitimate. You know, just you got to keep your oil changed and take care of your vehicle and be able to prove it when it's time to use it. And man, about 300,000 miles, motor goes out, transmission goes out, it's going to get replaced as long as you did your maintenance, your required maintenance. You cannot beat that. It encourages you to take care of your vehicle. And you'll notice if you take care of your vehicle, it's a lot less likely to need to take advantage of having that lifetime powertrain warranty. But stuff happens, and that's why they exist. So get by, see them today, shop them online, MazdaJackson.com. And also every new Mazda comes with a year of free maintenance. So check them out, Mazda of Jackson, located in, you guessed it, Jackson, right there at the Briarwood exit along 55. All right, real quick, if you're going to call into the show, we do not answer private calls or blocked numbers. So you have to have your number on the caller ID, because if you get on here and you do anything stupid, I'm going to put your phone number out for the world and be like, this is the person that called and said this. So we're going to hold our callers accountable around here. Y'all hold me accountable. We're going to hold y'all accountable. So if you call in and you do something, you say something foolish, you cuss on the radio, you call me a racist, you do any of that, I'm going to take your phone number and I'm going to plaster it all over my social media. So just be mindful that we will, in fact, use social media as a weapon. Let's take a call on the Mazda Jackson phone line.
You cut the radio off.
Hey, you're on there.
You know what we need to do?
What we need to do?
When all them people melt down, whatever, in front of anybody, what they do, said, you need to go see your preacher. I'm praying for you.
Well, they ain't got one.
That would shut them up. Man, I seen that happen one time in a basketball game. The guy hit somebody, it was a church basketball game, league, and the guy cussed him and fighting. And the guy just turned around and says, I think you got a personal problem. You need to go talk to your preacher. I think that guy left.
I just look at him and tell him, I could tell you've been vaxxed and boosted.
Well, you have a blessed day. I hope you do put on some for Charlie Kirk we can all go to or something.
Man, I am literally, I was texting people during the break trying to get the time zone thing figured out. Looks like it happened. Looks like it'll be around lunchtime our time, which makes it a lot easier to do. So fingers crossed, we'll be able to make it work.
We'll have it at a lunch place if I can come and get your lunch and eat.
Yeah, well, if we do it at Cypress, they definitely they got that big Sunday lunch buffet, and they got a menu to order off of too. So we may be able to make it happen.
Well,
fingers crossed.
You remember the Rush Rooms?
Rush Rooms?
When Rush Limbaugh was on there, it was a place. I forgot where that. The White House, downtown Jackson.
Yeah,
it was a Rush Room, and they played Rush Limbaugh.
Well, that's neat. I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is something new. A lot of places call them Rush Rooms.
Interesting.
And you could get your dinner and listen.
I like it.
Check that out.
I like it. Well, I know they listen to us at the Recovery Room down there on Highway 80, or the Room as they call it now. One of the little bars down on Highway 80.
Yeah, you don't remember the White House down there?
I do, man. Actually, I do. It's back there in that Bellhaven area, if my memory serves me correct. My parents took me to eat there once or twice.
It's not there no more.
Yeah,
they had pretty good food there.
We went to the Hill. We went to the Hill a lot because we were over in South Jackson. So we were at the Hill over there on top of Valley Street, and we went to Dennery's a good bit.
Yeah, but they call them Rush Rooms. There's a lot of places all around the country.
Well, if I ever change time slots and I'm on midday, I will see if we can't set up a couple Clay's Boom Boom rooms around here. Hey, thanks for the call, brother.
Hey, you have a good day.
You too. See, that's how you act on a phone call. Now, whoever was calling during that, try calling back. 601-879-0002 is the Mazda of Jackson phone line. The Guns and Gear text is 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. So I did get a text from a friend of mine or one of our listeners on the show, said so the funeral starts at 11 there, Mountain Time. We're 2 hours ahead of them. So that would be, what time would that be here? 1 o'clock here, but then you got to take in daylight savings time into account. So according to that math, it would start at noon. The actual funeral would start at noon, not 1. So I'm just thinking we just pile up somewhere at about 11 o'clock. We just, doors open at 11 and just plan on hanging out a couple hours. So whether it starts at 12, whether it starts at 1, we're there. If anybody's game to do that, we could just probably take over somewhere. But I would like for it to be kind of an official thing so we can make sure we got all the speakers on and we can hear the funeral and have a preacher speak. So Andrew Gosser, our favorite radio host here, said he would come preach. So Andrew's on from 10 to noon every day. And again, we have a crazy person that insists on calling on the private number. We're not going to answer her calls because she's a crazy person. We have her phone number. We ought to post it on social media. But, all right, so Mountain Time would be 1. I don't think you got to take into account. Somebody said we're only 1 hour ahead on Mountain Time. No, is it really only 1 hour ahead on Mountain Time? So it looks like we're going to figure it out. I'm not going to sit here and guess on the radio. I got getting conflicting ideas on what time it would start. So it's West Coast time. It starts at 11:30, I think is what they said. I had to go back and lock that down. But if somebody smarter than Clay can tell me exactly what time, taking into daylight savings time and all that, taking into account what time it starts, that would be helpful. But I'm not going to sit here and try to unlock it. I guess somebody could just ask ChatGPT. Anyway, let's see here. Somebody trying to call from a real phone number this time? All right, we got somebody calling back from a real phone number. Let's answer the call on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Good morning, you're on there.
Okay, you got Eastern, you have Central, you have Mountain, then you have Pacific. Those are going to be the zones. Of course, then you have Hawaii, but that's completely different.
Arizona's in Mountain Time. Okay, I was thinking, that's right. I forgot about Mountain Time. I was thinking it's Pacific, Central. That's right. There is 4 time zones in America.
Right.
All right, so it would be noon then. It would be noon our time. Noon or 12:30.
I just heard you confused about the time zones.
Yeah,
I don't even know what you're discussing.
Oh, we're talking about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's funeral is gonna air Mountain Time at 11:30. We were trying to figure out what time that would be here, so we could have a gathering.
12:30. That'll be 12:30 Central Daylight Time. Now, when you get off the daylight savings, then it goes Central Standard Time.
All right, so we're currently in daylight savings time now, right?
Daylight savings.
So it would be 12:30. All right.
Right.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
No worries. And by the way, I went to Martin's and I tried that ribeye yesterday. Pretty good.
What'd you try?
The ribeye.
Oh, was it good?
Ribeye sandwich you talk about.
Oh, yeah. Good. Good.
It was good.
Great, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Anyway, have a good one.
You too. All right. Now, I haven't had the ribeye sandwich at Martin's. The one I talk about is over at Cypress Point, but I have had a steak from Martin's, and you can't go wrong. I didn't realize you could get it on a bun. I will try that next time. So let's check out the Guns and Gear text line. Yep, everybody is helping me out on the time thing, so I do appreciate that. We'll get that locked in. Now we just need to get a venue locked in. I did fire off a text to the folks over at Cypress, not to put them on the spot here. Y'all get out to Cypress and enjoy Cypress Point anytime. One of my favorite places. I went by yesterday afternoon. I haven't been drinking, been doing really good. Well, I say I'm not going to never not drink, but I haven't been going out on the weekends. I've really been spending some time with myself, working out, just trying to get my head right. I'm in my, what they call the lonely chapter, I believe is what them self-help people call it. But a buddy of mine came by and put my new workout rig together, my big torture rack together for free. Wouldn't let me pay him. I said, well, I know you'll let me buy you a beer. I know you'll let me buy you a beer because I'll let you buy me a beer. So we went down to Cypress. I bought him a couple of beers and we just hung out for a minute. So shout out to my boy Brian, the handlebar handyman. He's got one of the big handlebar mustaches. If you need a good handyman for anything, I highly recommend Brian. And his last name eludes me, but you can find Handlebar Handyman. And thank you, Brian, for coming over to the house and getting me fixed up. Let's take a call before we go to break. Hey, brother, you on there? Hello?
Hi,
Hey.
Clay, this is Mandy.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm trying to hang in there. For the last few days, I've just been feeling a little sullen because of what happened to Mr. Charlie Kirk. May he rest in peace. He influenced me to register to vote and vote last year for the first time. I even actually sent him an email last year, and he responded to me saying, amazing, tell your friends as well to register and vote.
So
American flag.
I heard a story over the weekend. I think it was his wife maybe that said it, that he read and responded to every email he got.
Yeah.
Like he read every email he got.
It's just overall sad, and what's even worse is these people are celebrating and the death. It's so disgusting, and it's just making me lose my faith in humanity at times. But yesterday morning after work, I went to go pray the rosary at this church down the street from my house, and every Hail Mary bead, I just kept saying it for him and his wife and kids and family. And I just want to say something. The reason why I think, I could be wrong, people are like celebrating his death, which is ignorant, is because of what happened last year with Donald Trump. And I know that's awful for me to say, but I just think they're also doing it because it was a missed.
Well, they're just hateful. They're hateful people, and they hate their own lives, and they really wish that bullet had hit one of them and put them out of their misery. They're jealous. You heard the saying, they hate us because they ain't us. That's it. They just they're too chicken crap to kill themselves, so they're angry that Charlie Kirk gets to move on out of here and walk through the pearly gates shoulder to shoulder on that golden road with Jesus, and they're not, and they're never going to. And they hate themselves for it, and so they hate us because they hate themselves.
And he was such a wonderful person. He would just sit there and let everyone talk, even if people disagree with one another. He would just let them talk, and every time after someone presented their opinion, he would always say, "God bless you," after each part, and he will be truly missed. And that's all I have to say. It's just a sad situation all around.
Well, look, be a joyful warrior. Stay happy. But, I'm not going to be as nice as everybody else and say, pray for your enemies. Do not waste prayers on those people. They're not worth it. Find somebody who deserves prayer and pray for them. And when it comes to the left and our enemies, mock them and meme them until they cry. And then when they start crying, mock them and meme them for crying. Don't waste prayers on these people. I ain't the one for that. Thank you so much for listening, as always. We really appreciate you up there in Kentucky.
No problem. Have a good one.
You too. We got to take a break. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show, the most incendiary show in all of America. We're proving it why every time I hit that live button. The pound for pound most incendiary host in this country. I'm like Bud Crawford after he whooped up on Canelo Alvarez the other night. I'm the GOAT of incendiary content. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends over at, Tri-County Tree Service. Mr. Russ Borland and his team out there cutting down trees and saving lives, man. Clay, you're being hyperbolic. He's not saving lives. Oh, yeah. If that tree falls to your house and hits you while you're sleeping, it could very well kill you or the other people living in it. That's not hyperbole. That's fact-perbole. Get in touch with Russ today. Let him come out and get you an estimate together for knocking down an old tree, getting one hauled off, and all that good stuff. Maybe you just need some limbs trimmed back. They got you covered. Tri-County Tree Service. Phone number is 601-940-5499. 601-940-5499. That's Tri-County Tree Service. All right, man, let's go to the Mazda Jackson phone line. We've had a caller patiently waiting on hold through the break there. Hey, brother, thanks for staying on hold. You're on there.
Hey, yes, sir, Clay. I don't know if I told you about the time in Arizona, what time zone. I know I heard the time zone, but they are in the mountain time zone, but they don't recognize daylight savings time. So depending on the time of year, they're either an hour or 2 hours behind us.
So if the event is this Sunday, it would be 1 o'clock. If the event's this Sunday at noon, or I'm sorry, I think we got it figured out. If it's at 11:30 there, it's going to be 12:30 or 1:30 here.
No, it'd be an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, so we're currently.
Time of year,
So we're currently in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we're in daylight savings time, but they don't do it, so they're 2 hours behind. So it's 5:47 there now.
Got it. So if they were doing something that was at 11:30, it would be 1:30 here.
Right. Yep.
Got it. I want to make sure I get this plan right.
When we go back to, I guess when we go back to standard time, they're only an hour behind us.
Got it.
So it can be a pain.
Yes, I wish we didn't celebrate daylight savings time or participate.
I thought they were supposed to. Do something about that.
Yeah, they did. I thought so too. Every year they talk about it, and every year, I wish we either did it or don't do it. But going back and forth is asinine.
Oh yeah, they said a long time ago it was something for the farmers, but with modern equipment now, you don't need. They can do it 24/7 if they want to. So.
Yep.
Right.
All right, brother.
Anyway,
appreciate you.
Sir.
All right. So I'm still confused. Now we just need to confirm if we can use the venue or not, and we'll get that worked out. We got some breaking sports news. Any Bengals fans out there? Looks like y'all's quarterback Joe Burrow is out for the season. They said 3 months. What's going to be the point in returning after 3 months? I mean, what was that? We're already at week 2. He misses 3 months. That's 12 games. Come back for what, 1 or 2 games at the end of the season? He's out for the season. A broke toe or something to do with needing to have toe surgery anyway. Also, some more breaking news here. Breaking news. We've already blown through a whole hour, and I ain't even got to the first single thing I want to talk about. We know we have learned about time zones this morning. Donald Trump suggests, where's my dang story at? Here it is. This is from WLBT. So it's probably from the AP. Let's see here. Donald Trump suggests deal reached over the future of TikTok as he announces call with President Xi from China. Real quick. Yeah, I mean, it was from the AP, by the way. President Donald Trump has posted on his social media site. Instead of saying Truth Social, they refuse to give Trump anything, don't they? Posted on his social media site. These assholes. His social media site that a meeting between the U.S. and Chinese officials went well and that a deal was reached regarding a certain company that young people in our country very much wanted to save. Trump's comments suggest that the company is TikTok, the social media company associated with China that the U.S. law requires to be sold or else cease operations. The Republican president has repeatedly extended the deadline on TikTok's fate and was non-committal on an agreement when asked by reporters on Sunday evening. Trump also said that he would be speaking Friday with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Hey, look, I made $500 on TikTok this weekend. I'm back in the keep TikTok, save TikTok account. I'm back in the save TikTok camp this weekend. I had a couple videos go nuclear viral and made me a few $100. So I'm back in the TikTok camp for show. And look, man, TikTok this weekend got a lot of liberals fired. So do we really want to ban TikTok? It's kind of their safe place, and they went out there and popped off at the mouths, and now they're in the unemployment line today. So I don't know. I mean, TikTok turning out not to be so bad, huh? I kind of like it. We got to take a break here in a couple of minutes. So I really hate to get into the Ole Miss cancel culture thing, the woman that effed around and found out. That video across my different platforms is sitting at about 1 million views. That's crazy. One of my rants getting 1 million views. I love it. Let's see here if we got anything that we can just kind of hit sort of quick here. We're here for 3 hours today. 3 full hours. And it's all me, no interviews, nothing. The phone lines are wide open. I would love to hear you guys talk to me about Charlie Kirk. Would really love to hear what you all got to say. You got anybody you want to expose? Anybody that said something over the weekend that deserves to see them fired? I want to talk about black people's reaction to Charlie Kirk's death. Black women in particular, black men, with their misinformation spreading. It's amazing. They hear one person say something wrong and they run with it as fact. D.L. Hughley made a D.L. ass of himself this weekend, and they have ran with his misinformation as fact. Let's take a call here on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, you're on there.
Good morning, this is Buddy. I've been busy, hadn't been able to call. One thing.
Yep, keep it short. We're about to go back out our break.
Real short.
Yeah.
This is for you. You realize you have enemies.
Oh, yeah.
I'm serious. And you're not of the magnitude of Charlie Kirk, but these demon craps. And you can't be a Christian, be a Democrat. You can't promote every perversion in the world and the wholesale murder of babies, and I don't want a Democrat for a friend. But, brother, you tell where you're going to be, and you got a target out of them Jackson thugs. And I'd hate to see something happen to you. So you really need to be cautious.
Oh, I am. I promise. I appreciate you saying it, but yeah,
I am serious. And look, I'm neither holy nor I'm righteous, but I pray for you. I pray for your safety.
No, I appreciate it.
Because you are having an impact. And you know it. Those lying scumbag Democrats hate the truth.
They're allergic to it. They're allergic to the truth, and they're allergic to testosterone.
That's like right. You notice all of them are wearing dresses.
Yep. I mean, they're chemically castrating themselves. They hate testosterone so much. Like, get it out of my body. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Well, you know what the Proverbs say about it, don't you? The wise incline to the right, and the foolish lean to the left. And that's a proverb, and it's true.
Buddy, I got to go, brother. Thank you so much. Don't be a stranger.
Right. God bless.
We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show on WYAB. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Guys, we're about to take our top of the hour 7-minute news and commercial break. I'm going to stay with the online audience. We're going to go read some of your comments that you've been piling up here on the side. We're going to read some text from the Guns and Gear text line. We'll open the phone line back up when we come back. The Mazda of Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. But, man, we got so many stories I want to hit. Don't go nowhere. Going to be a huge 2 hours to go. Boom shakalaka. Man, that was a unplanned, action-packed first hour. I do love getting the phone calls from everybody. I don't open the phone line up too often because we got a lot of crazy people, but I knew you guys would want to get a lot off your chest this morning. I still want to hear y'all's stories. We will interrupt whatever I'm talking about and move you guys to the front of the line this morning, even if you disagree with me. If you can do it respectfully, we're going to honor Charlie Kirk. You can respectfully try to disagree with me, but don't mean you ain't gonna be wrong. Let's see what we got to say here in the comments. I'm trying to read a few things here. Hey, well, I'll wait and save that when we come back. Let's see. All right, Barbershop Bob. Hey, y'all hit that share button, man. Please hit that share button. We have eliminated Facebook from the live stream because I don't want them on here. Too many crazies over there. I want people who actually want to go out of their way and listen. I think that's where YouTube works best. Is people who want to listen, find us on YouTube. You end up with a lot of BS on Facebook, and I just don't want to clutter it up. Anyway, Barbershop Bob. He's telling the truth, Clay. He said what I've been wanting to say to you. Be careful, my friend. Well, I opened up the show talking about that. While I do appreciate everybody's concerns, I truly, deeply do. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I am very careful. I mean, there are things that I do that I won't tell people about. There's precautions I take that I don't make public. We'll just say that. But I'm not going to live in fear. I ain't going to let the terrorist win. Not going to let the terrorist win. Jake, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Good morning, Jake. What up, big dog? Says he must be talking about the Philly at Martin's. We don't have a ribeye sandwich. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Probably talking about the Philly cheesesteak. But hey, whatever. That was good. Let's see. Most of this is about appreciate everybody saying favorite show. Thank y'all so much. Brandon Tavares, appreciate you. Good morning to everybody. A classy one says, Mr. Kirk, death celebrations are so disrespectful it makes me sick. Then says, please don't talk like that, Clay. Everyone has their time, yet no one knows their time. JB200 says, what is the body count for Jackson this weekend? Let's check. We had that technology. I didn't see any murders this weekend, but there was, of course, Friday night they had 3 people shot in one go. 3 essays got shot in Jackson Friday night. Luckily, nobody died. If everybody died that got shot in Jackson, there'd be over 100 deaths this year at least. That'd be super grok. There's thinking, time differences. There wasn't a whole lot of comments this morning, so I'm burning time here. We got 2 more minutes before we come back from the radio. 1 more minute. Jake, I just got your email. Thank you. All right, so it will be at 1 p.m. is what time Charlie Kirksmere with that. AI has answered the question for us. 1 p.m. Bourbon Diplomacy. I don't know. When did you send it? I get a lot of emails over there because I'm not exactly sure what email address to be looking for. So let me know, and I'll check my email there. All right, we're getting ready to come back. I got to go quiet for a minute. Boom goes La Dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO, the radio. I'm Clay Edwards, the host of said radio show. You're listening on 103.9 FM, WYAB, the mothership, the freedom of speech, First Amendment outpost right here in Central Mississippi. We're streaming worldwide in stunning HD. This morning from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios on X, YouTube, and Rumble. Search Save JXN on X and YouTube, and search Clay Edwards Show on Rumble, and it should pop up there. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications, and you will get a notification every time I go live. And I go live a good bit. I've been going live at nighttime on the Culture Rot podcast. Loving that. Doing huge numbers. Every show breaks a new record. I'm blown away at what we're doing there. I mean, literally blown away. This segment brought to you by our friend, Mr. Jamie Creel, right downstairs from me here at Shelter Insurance. Jamie is a great guy. He's on the radio regularly and often here with us discussing all things insurance related, and been doing a lot of school choice conversations, so you can hear somebody that was in education for 20 plus years explain why he's not a fan of it. He's been doing a great job with that on my show, on Chip's show, and others. Check out Jamie for all of your insurance needs. Just get a quote. You need to be getting your insurance quoted or ran, however you want to say that, getting a new estimate every few months, every 6 months at least, and seeing what else is out there, seeing if you're able to save any money. Like a lot of Americans, Mississippians in general, our credit score in Mississippi is one of the lowest in the country. I think it averages around 630, which I'm surprised it's that high. So that means a lot of us are working on our credit constantly. When you have a lower credit rating, it means you're typically always room for improvement. And if you've improved your credit, you've improved your chances of getting cheaper insurance. So even if it's gone up 10 points, 20 points, you could be leaving $100 a month or so, $50 a month or so on the table in savings. So if you don't have a local insurance agent, or even if you do, keep them honest. Get Jamie to shop it for you and see if he can get you a better rate. And maybe he don't get you a better rate, but he gets you better coverage for the same or close to the same rate. You have nothing to lose. It doesn't cost anything to let him check your rate for you. That's Jamie Creel, Shelter Insurance Agent Extraordinaire. He's more than just an agent. He's a friend. 2 locations to serve you, the Cotton Exchange Plaza in Flora, and right there next to Fleet Feet on 51 in Ridgeland. Shelter Insurance, Jamie Creel. Real quick, a little house cleaning, so to say. Lindsey Beckham and Sean Yurtkaran will be on Lindsey's show today from noon to 1, and they're going to start covering one of the biggest stories, one of the biggest unsolved murders in the history of this city. The Eddie Williams murder. Who killed Eddie Williams? Sean and Lindsey are on the case. Sean with 10 plus years as an assistant DA right here in Hinds County where it happened at, and now is one of the top criminal defense attorneys in the state. He and Lindsey are going to be uncovering what happened to Eddie. Who killed Eddie Williams? We know what happened to him. Why was he killed and who did it? Start tuning in as Sean and Lindsey are on the case. Should be very interesting. I've heard some buttholes have gotten mighty, mighty tight out in Northeast Jackson and Madison County over the last weekend when it got announced that this was going to be happening. So going to be very interesting to see how all that unfolds. Also, as you know, Lindsey is a member of Moms for Liberty. And in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder, there has been a huge influx of people curious and interested in joining TPUSA, Turning Point USA, Charlie's foundation. Moms for Liberty has partnered up with TPUSA to help that out and to have Zoom meetings and all kind of stuff with people. If you're interested or you have any questions, you want to join Turning Point, ladies, you're interested in joining Moms for Liberty, now is the time to do it. Shoot, if you know how to get in touch with Lindsey through phone, through social media, try that. If not, her email address is lindsey@wyab.com. I had to ask her what her email was. I should have known that. Lindsey with an EY at the end, not an AY. It's not Lindsay, it's Lindsey @wyab.com. And women, moms out there, I can't encourage you enough to get involved with Moms for Liberty. If you're active, especially if you still have kids in school, get involved. And if you got kids out of school and you've got a lot of life experience and you think you can help from a leadership standpoint, from an experience standpoint, get in touch with Lindsey and consider joining Moms for Liberty. They do great, great work. Very well respected. Very well respected. Let's see here. I'm kind of getting text in live time this morning, so kind of looking at everything. Farrah just sent that. Farrah, what is that above there on that image? Send me some context to that, please. Oh, never mind. I see it now. Look at this great mural, graffiti bridge in Pensacola. Now look what these morons did to it overnight. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying here. Yeah, there was a Charlie Kirk memorial that was on the graffiti bridge in Pensacola Beach. Somebody did a beautiful rest in peace Charlie Kirk. And then overnight, some Antifa, Trans-Tifa thugs vandalized it. And I will put a before and after image together here and get that shared. That's disgusting, and it makes me hate these people even more. I'm going to tell you something. You can't hate these people enough. They hate you. Quit trying to cross the aisle and shake hands and kumbaya hands across America with these people. They don't want that. They've been screaming they want war, they want blood for the last 10 years. Since Trump came down that golden escalator and tore a hole in the space-time continuum in 2015, these raging leftist lunatics have been screaming they want blood. Now they're getting it. It was a bloodbath over the weekend on these mean internet streets when they lost their jobs and everything else. Let's go to a story that I've been wanting to cover, because I can sit here and just rant. I want to make sure that we discuss this lady, the one that got fired for effing around and finding out up there at Ole Miss. Now, I know a lot of people are attacking a restaurant. I'm not going to partake in that, but if y'all never ate there again, it wouldn't hurt my feelings none. But I never pull for people to go after people's businesses. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's game. I don't think it should be. She got fired from her job as a state employee. I think that's enough. Because here's the trickle-down effect. When y'all go leave these bad reviews on her Yelp and all that stuff, and on Facebook and Google for the restaurant that's unaffiliated with this mess. And, I don't have any sympathy for these people, but what I do have sympathy for, the landlord, the employees, and everybody else that's her vendors that she owes money to, the trickle-down effect of going after the business that had nothing to do with it, I think that's a bit much. You can just choose to never eat there and get your point across. Just throwing that out there. I'm very anti-cancel culture. I'm not going to be a hypocrite now and participate in it. But I'm not above. See, I think there's two things. I think there's cancel culture, and I think there's effing around and finding out. I find them to be two completely different things. Being held accountable for saying some really effed up things online, while also representing yourself as an employee of somewhere, that's effing around and finding out. That's called personal responsibility. That's not cancel culture. Cancel culture is what I've dealt with from these loons around here trying to deplatform me and make me go away because they don't like what I say. They can't counter anything I say with any factual evidence. They can't prove me wrong. I just report the news. I don't make stuff up. And they can't stand that I put it in a way that gets through to normies. They can't stand that Charlie went to college campuses and broke through the woke nonsense and changed young minds. Charlie was so much more of a useful tool than Clay Edwards could ever be. They can't stand that the left doesn't have kids. They have your kids on these college campuses. And that's why Charlie had to go. But speaking of college campuses, let's go to Ole Miss. Shout out to Ole Miss. Big win this weekend up against Arkansas. Arkansas has always been a thorn in their side. So that's they two big wins this year against Kentucky and Arkansas. One of them usually slip up and beat them. So kudos to Ole Miss. So this is from over at WLBT. As y'all know, this nut job found herself fired. It says an employee at the University of Mississippi has been fired after resharing hurtful, insensitive comments regarding the tragic murder of Charlie Kirk. Let's see here. Let's see if I can fast forward through some of this nonsense. Lauren Stokes is her name. See, WJTV and WREG up in North Mississippi and Memphis area, they released the story initially. They didn't put a picture of her. They didn't put her name. They didn't tell you what she said. Just that an Ole Miss employee had been fired for insensitive comments about Charlie Kirk. Well, hold on a damn minute. Why wouldn't you put her name and photo up there? If that had been anybody right-wing adjacent, you would have had their name, their photo, their spouse's name, their children's name, where they went to school, their blood type, every former employer that they had, where they went to church. You'd have been interviewing coworkers, friends, neighbors, family, wanting to know where they're burning crosses in the yard, just any suspicious activities, like as if they were the shooter. But it's a left wing, it's one of your counterparts, and it's nothing. I was actually shocked that WLBT actually put the majority of this information in there. I really was. I remember sending the other thing to Shad White because he was featured in the WLBT article and he had a lot to say about it. And I said, I'm really surprised they didn't mention the names, even by their standards. And I told him I was surprised that they actually interviewed him and cared what anybody on the right had to say about it. But I've got I have the technology here. I've got what she said, and I want to read it. I want, maybe you've been busy this weekend and you're not knee deep in the culture war like Clay Edwards is, and you don't keep up with this stuff. You just saw that somebody from Ole Miss got fired for saying something stupid. Let's read what Lauren Stokes had to say. A typical, affluent, white liberal woman. There's an abbreviation for awful in there somewhere. You can put it together. She said on her Instagram, for decades, white supremacists and reimagined Klan members like Kirk have wreaked havoc on our communities. Condemning children and the populace at large to mass death for the sake of keeping their automatic guns. They have willingly advocated to condemn children and adult survivors of sexual assault to forced pregnancy and childbirth. They have smiled while stating the reason people who can birth children shouldn't be allowed life-saving medical care when miscarrying. That's her, we don't want our abortions gone. Anyway, quote, continuing, they have incited and clapped for the brutalizing of black and brown bodies. So no, I have no prayer to offer Kirk or respectable statements against violence. These people hate you. Do not play fair with these people. This is not some gentleman's agreement. They don't play by the rules. They change the rules every time they play the game. And now the rules have been changed by us. Now we're not playing by their rules anymore. The right has got to grow some, has got to grow a pair and start fighting back. We got to be the Ric Flair. We got to be the dirtiest player in the game every now and then. We have to quit playing by the left's rules. They don't. You're over here thinking you're playing a game of chess, and next thing they do, they slap down and say, Uno, mother. They don't play by the same rules. These people are evil. They don't want to come together. They don't want to meet in the middle. I mean, I want somebody to explain to me how we ain't 2 minutes from the Boogaloo. Civil War. How we ain't 2 minutes from it. 2 minutes from midnight. You know how most wars are prevented, right? Most wars are prevented because negotiations and conversations are had. And you find some give and take from both sides to satisfy not having to fight it out. It's like the American Indians with their stickball. It's called the little brother of war. I learned this a couple of weeks ago. Seems like a great analogy here. They would play these stickball games, and they would go to the death sometimes. But the death of a few was better than the death of many. And if they couldn't battle it out, if they couldn't come to an agreement after stickball, then they would go to war. We don't have anybody to play stickball with in this. There's nobody to negotiate with on that side. They don't want to negotiate. They believe that we are evil. They believe that we want all trans people wiped off the face of this earth. Trans is a religion for them. This is not some social media movement. To them, trans is a religion. It is their God. It is everything their life is built around. And of no surprise to me, Tyler Robinson, the left-wing Democrat kook that assassinated Charlie Kirk, is gay. He's a frustrated rainbow supremacist. Paint me shocked, said nobody, when we found out that he was into furries and he was living with a guy, air quotes in the studio, transitioning. So he was with a transgender, a guy that's transitioning from male to female, which let me explain to y'all exactly what that means. He's chemically castrating himself so his body doesn't make any more testosterone. It's literally what they do to rapists in Louisiana now. They chemically castrate them. This guy's doing it to himself by choice. What we do to criminals in some penitentiaries. This guy is willingly eliminating his testosterone production. I told you Democrats are allergic to testosterone. They hate it. I mean, look at the killer. I bet you his testosterone ain't 100. And he's angry about that. I just want him to be lower. I hate testosterone. It's my kryptonite. Pesky testosterone. But also, his lover is going to get his wang cut off. And he's not going to be a woman then. He's just going to be a guy without a wang. So it should come as no surprise that this kid grew up in an ultra right-wing family, ultra conservative family. And like most kids do, they buck whatever their parents were super strict about, and they go another direction for a time in their life. And they usually will come back to center. You hear it all the time. Listen to some of the biggest rock stars in history tell their stories about how they grew up in an ultra-conservative family. And they went the other way. That's why I've chuckled as much as I could the last few days. Every time I see one of these left-wing nut jobs, especially on the black side, tell me that the shooter was a ultra-conservative, straight white male. I'm like, the only part you got right about that is he was white. And trust me, it was in Utah. I didn't think one of the Jazz basketball players did it when I heard about it. They're like, oh, look, it wasn't an immigrant or a LGBTQ person. Brr. It was an LGBTQ person. They're like, it wasn't a person of color. Now, nobody thought it was. Like, literally, nobody thought it was a person of color that did this. The left is really telling on themselves when they say stuff like this. It wasn't a person of color, an immigrant, or an LGBTQ member. Like y'all thought it was. No, y'all thought it was. You said it. You said it wasn't that. Who? Raise your hand if you thought an immigrant killed Charlie Kirk. Like, seriously. Raise your hand if you thought a person of color killed Charlie Kirk. Now, raise your hand if you thought somebody trans adjacent killed Charlie Kirk. I'm throwing both my hands up in the studio here for those listening on the radio. Not a single person is surprised that somebody trans adjacent killed Charlie Kirk. Let's take a break. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Mazda of Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show, here live in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. on 103.9 FM WYAB. Guys, I just spent a lot of time there talking about Democrats, or liberals more so, being allergic to testosterone. You do not want to be hemmed up in any situation where you have low testosterone and could possibly be talked into some liberal shenanigans. You need to get your levels checked today. ASAP. Stat. I'm hooking you up with a free testosterone screening, courtesy of the Clay Edwards Show. Free. Don't cost you nothing but your time. Men's Health, Women's Wellness in Mississippi. Text my name. Simple. Clay. That's all I got. Just one name. Like Madonna. Clay. Okay, that was a terrible comparison there. I never want our names in the same sentence. But I was just trying to think of people famous for one names. Trump. Like Trump. Just Clay. To 601-800-5130. 601-800-5130. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen there constantly. Take advantage of it today and separate yourself. Get you some Democrat kryptonite pumping through your veins, and they won't even come near you. People tell me all the time, Clay, you got to watch out. They're going to try to kill you. They're going to try to do this. They're going to try to do that. Bro, the second they get near me, they start getting the smell of that testosterone, and they just cower back in fear. Oh, no. He's got a lot of testosterone pumping through those veins. We don't want any of that smoke. Rah, ree, ree, ree. 601-800-5130. I am playing to an audience of one as I watch myself on the screen here. I don't even know if I'm entertaining anybody. I'm entertaining me, that's for sure. Take advantage of it. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. All right. We ran over big time there. I really need to take a break, but I'm going to wait a few minutes because I don't want to pound y'all back to back with breaks here. Let's talk about a few effed around and found out situations, and then I want to get into some longer form stuff because we got 3 hours this morning. Did y'all see the Office Depot situation? Talk about idiots. These idiots didn't even post anything stupid online to get canceled. They got themselves fired at work for what they did at work. I mean, talk about stupid. I mean, look, man, these two looking bull studs, one black woman with an afro and one big beastly white woman. I mean, couldn't either one of them got laid by anybody 4:00 in the morning, leaving Pops in the mid-2000s? None of them. Nobody would have remotely hooked up with either one of these clowns. Just miserable and ugly, and because they're ugly on the outside, they're automatically ugly on the inside. They're mad nobody would touch them with a 10-foot pole. They're mad you couldn't tie a pork chop around their neck to get a dog to play with them and lick on them. Just miserable, ugly people. Somebody shows up and they pre-ordered getting a poster printed that was very polite. It just said, "Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk," or something to that extent. Very milquetoast. Nothing I would have done. Not nearly as incendiary enough for Clay Edwards. I would have had, I don't even want to say what I would have had. I don't want it held against me in a court of law if something comes up happening. But they wouldn't print it. They said it was propaganda. They don't print political propaganda. But you know that the way you know you got a real lefty is you short circuit their brains by saying, well, what if I wanted it to say Black Lives Matter? Trans lives matter. Trans rights are human rights. Well, that's not propaganda. That's fact. That's not propaganda. I mean, they're so hardwired into being these NPC bots that you can't rationalize with them. You can't discern any legitimate conversation. Anyhow, so Office Depot has fired their butts, and it says here's Office Depot's reaction. It says, "We are deeply concerned by the incident that occurred at store 3382 in Portage, Michigan. The behavior displayed by our associates is completely unacceptable and insensitive. It violates our company policies and does not reflect the values we uphold at Office Depot. We sincerely apologize to customers affected and to our community for this regrettable situation. Upon learning of the incident, we immediately reached out to the customers to address their concerns and to seek to fulfill their orders to the satisfaction. They ended up going somewhere else and getting the order printed, by the way. Continue. I think they went to FedEx and got it printed. Surprised FedEx didn't try the same thing. Anyhow, says that to try to fulfill it to their satisfaction, we also launched an immediate internal review, and as a result, the associate involved is no longer with the organization. We are committed to reinforcing training with all team members to ensure our standards of respect, integrity, and customer loyalty are upheld at every location. Our customers and communities deserve nothing less. It is so refreshing to see these left-wing nut jobs after years and years of having this fake sense of control, to control cancel culture, to control the culture. See, the left, they believed that everybody was really on their side. Then Elon, this goes back to Elon buying X or Twitter. The left lost control of controlling the narrative. And they did not realize how many bots were agreeing with them. And they're finding out that we ain't bots. This is real life. And we will for real F you up. Maybe every situation ain't physical. Maybe some of it is just outthinking you dimwit, wannabe future rocket scientists, engineers, astronauts. They ain't smart. They may be book smart, but they ain't smart. There's a difference in memorizing something you read and actually being a critical thinker. They're not critical thinkers. They're NPC bots. And it's great. The greatest even, some would say, to see them get their comeuppance. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Sorry for the breaks, but we got to pay the bills. Guys, let's talk about lunch real quick. Grab my menu. Let's talk about what's for lunch over at McBee's Bar and Grill. Man, they were packed this weekend for college football. I rode by Saturday around 2 o'clock maybe. I went over to Core Therapy and did the cryo and did my recovery stuff. I had not been over there in about a week. But anyway, I was coming back through. I was going to stop. It was so packed. I was like, I'm going to keep on to my side of the reservoir. So swing by McBee's for all the great football games going on, college or pro. And look, both teams, State and Ole Miss. I know there's other teams, and God bless them, but there's two teams that drive the train around here. That's Mississippi State, followed by Ole Miss. And those are the people that like to go out and drink and have a good time and group party. Ole Miss actually leads the way on that. I'm just, but I'm a State fan, so I'm going to say State first. But Ole Miss fans are actually do a better job of going out and watching the games in a group than State fans. Ole Miss fans like to party. State fans, a little more, this ain't an insult. Nobody take it as an insult. I'm just characterizing a little bit here, stereotyping a little. Mississippi State fans are more like what I call God and country, work with their hands, work out on farms, more country boys, more rural. Where Ole Miss fans, seem to live more in the populated areas. So it's easier for them to get together and go out and drink and have a good time and watch the games together, which I fully support. With all that said, McBee's, the blue plate special of the day is my favorite. I don't even know why I had to grab the menu. Chicken spaghetti. It is fabulous. Not only do you get the chicken all mixed in the spaghetti, you get chicken breasts sliced up and put on top of it. So everybody, at minimum, gets the same amount of chicken that's dry cut and put on top. You get a couple sides with it and enjoy it. That's McBee's Bar and Grill. Buzzed in the Res since 1982. Open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. every day. I'm not sure what the closing time is. Maybe 11. I don't know. Don't quote me on the closing time, but it's a bar. They're open at nighttime. But blue plates, Monday through Friday, 11 to 2. All right. Let's see here. Let's check out the Guns and Gear text line. Let's check that out. Coming up in hour 3, I'm going to let Andrew Gosser come in here with me for a little bit and talk about what's going on. Man, I'd like to actually have a little public conversation with somebody about this Charlie Kirk assassination. Here we go. Okay. Unknown texter. Clay, just want to throw my thought out there that these people that hate the Constitution, hate Christianity, and Antifa should be labeled as a terrorist group. He says Antifa should be labeled as a terrorist group. There's also a list out there that they're making that has over 30,000 people exposed for their online hatred of Charlie Kirk. One other question is, what has Charlie Kirk done or said that is hateful rhetoric, as they call it? Because I have not seen one person prove that to be right. It's just gaslighting. They call hateful rhetoric anything they disagree with. He was anti-abortion. Oh, that's hateful rhetoric. He talked about crime in the black communities. Oh, that's hateful. That's racisms. You're not allowed to acknowledge a problem that doesn't look like you. You don't have a positive solution? You don't have a positive solution? You ain't allowed to talk about black people with a positive solution. Yeah, they keep taking his quote about kind of living by the gun, dying by the gun, out of context, where he said, a little bit of gun violence is something that we have to live with if we're going to have the Second Amendment. It's a small price to pay to have the Second Amendment. Oh, does he think that now? Does he think that now? Yes, he thinks it now. He paid the cost to be the boss. He is a martyr now. Y'all made him a martyr. Y'all martyrized him. Just like Jesus died for our sins. Charlie Kirk died for our Second Amendment. Man, that was good. I'm really proud of myself for that one. That was good. Charlie Kirk was our MLK. They said he was a much better man than MLK actually was. He was more important to the MAGA movement than MLK was the civil rights movement. I said it. Prove me wrong. Debate me, bro. Debate me. More people got registered to vote conservative under Charlie Kirk's leadership and ground game than any other movement in the history of this country. Got a call coming in. No private numbers. We ain't answering private calls. You can call from your phone number, and if you misbehave, we're going to put your phone number on blast. It's that simple. We fight fire with fire here. We don't do anonymous. We don't do fake profiles. We fight fire with fire. Charlie Kirk was more important to the MAGA movement than MLK was to the civil rights movement, and I'll die on that one. That will be my hill to die on. Because you know what? Charlie Kirk wasn't assassinated at a hotel that a couple hookers were on the other side of the room, the other side of the door in. But further proving the point that you can kill the man, you can't kill the message. You can kill the man, you can't kill the dream. You can kill the man, you can't kill the movement. Just like MLK's words have lasted forever and will forever last forever. And look, I'm not hating on it. How do I say this right? You're a lot more likely to find Clay Edwards in the same situation that Dr. King found himself in than you are to find Clay Edwards living a perfect life and being the perfect man like Charlie Kirk was. I will be the first to say that. And I ain't trying to hook up with no prostitutes. I ain't paying for nothing. But I'm just saying, you're a lot more likely to find me in a similar situation that Dr. King was in than you are to find me living a perfect life like Charlie Kirk, or as close to perfect as possible. I'm just going to put that person on hold so I'll quit calling. Let's see here. Reading some more of these texts. Somebody says, you might want to check out Channel 40 at night. Late Night with Rita Brent. I watched it last night. She made some cheeky comments. I am not a Rita Brent fan at all. I think Rita Brent is a racist. I've seen some of her online rhetoric in the past and very anti-Trump, very much Trump's a racist, all that stuff. I have nothing for Rita Brent. I know a lot of y'all find her funny. Y'all like her. I don't on any level. Don't like her. Don't get it. Don't think it's funny. She's not entertaining to me. You know, and I'm sure that she feels the same way about me. Let's see here. Unknown texter. MLK cheated on his wife. Charlie Kirk did not. Maybe in black culture, that's acceptable. Well, it's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing. A lot of side chicks. A lot of side chicks in urban culture, for sure. Let's take a break, come back, land the plane for hour 2. We've got a whole nother hour to go. Y'all don't go anywhere. It's a 3-hour mega show this morning on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, welcome back in. As we land the plane here, we got a whole nother hour to go this morning. We got Andrew Gosser going to come in here with me. I want to play some video of a black preacher bashing Charlie Kirk from the pulpit. Then I want to play some video of a black woman saying that she has to rethink even going to church because the preacher spoke highly of Charlie Kirk. The brainwashing that the black community has undergone is mind-boggling to me. That they think anybody that thinks different politically than them, when they're on the side of the devil, when they're on the side of abortions, when they're on the side of racial training, DEI, CRT, making excuses for failure, we're going to call them out. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on WYAB, Jackson's Talk Radio. All right, guys, I got to kill the feed because I can't go 3 hours on it. I got to start a new one, so I got to sign off because it screws up everything I do post-production because none of my programs will use anything longer than 2 hours. So I got to kill the feed, got to start another one, be back on in 5 minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Just wherever you're watching this, just log back on in 5 minutes, and I'll be back live at 9:07. So not quite 5 minutes, a little more than 5 minutes. All right, be right back. Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour 3 of the Clay Edwards Show this morning here on WYAB, streaming worldwide and live at Save JXN. We actually are on Facebook for the 3rd hour here for some reason. I guess I clicked it last night. Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Just search Save JXN or Clay Edwards Show. You will find it. Hit subscribe, hit share, and jump in the comments section and engage in the culture war with us. I'm in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios, where you can always text Clay to 601-800-5130 and get your complimentary testosterone screening scheduled today. This segment brought to you by our good friends over at Ellis Autoplex. Give Casey and his team a holla today over there at Little Truck City. Swing by, check out one of their great pre-owned F-150s, F-250, Dodge Rams, Toyotas. They got it all over there. Did I mention Chevy? They got Chevy Silverados too. Get over there and check them out today. Shop them online, ellisautoplex.com. Swing by and see the great inventory. Look, man, they got more than trucks too. They got cars and SUVs. They got a little something for everybody. I've seen some newer body style Broncos, 4Runners, and more over there here lately. Also, they buy cars. You already know that. But look, he's going to make an offer on it. Unless it is just an absolute problem, he's going to make an offer on it out of respect to the fact that we sent him over there. You tell him you heard it on the Clay Edwards Show. Go get an offer on your vehicle, and make sure you tell him I sent you. Shop them online, ellisautoplex.com. That's Ellis Autoplex. Highway 471, right there in Flowood, Mississippi. If you're going up 25, you're heading east on 25, take the 471 exit, go north. It's going to be the second dealership on your right, not a football field away from the exit. Easy to find. If you pass my buddy Chad Horton's place, the back porch, you went too far. That's Ellis Audioplex. All right. Here in the studio with me are the host of the Andrew Gosser Show from noon to 2 every day right here on these
10 to noon.
10 to noon. I'm sorry, 10 to noon. I got numbers.
Yep.
Charlie Kirk's show today here from 2 to 4 is going to be hosted by our Vice President, J.D. Vance.
That's right.
Right here on these very airwaves. So we're really excited about that here at WYAB. Should be record-breaking listenership for that time slot today. So I'm really interested to see what all goes on there. It'll be streaming on Rumble as well. I don't think Charlie streamed the show to YouTube, I don't guess. But anyway, all that said, Andrew Gosser, host of the Andrew Gosser Show from 10 to noon right here. And look, Andrew is a man of the Lord. Andrew has been following all this as closely as I have. And I just wanted to kind of get Andrew's thoughts. Are those headphones working?
No, can't really hear.
I didn't think so. They're not plugged in. I took over the plug directly.
That's
here.
all right.
Let me get his earbuds plugged in real quick, y'all. Andrew, introduce yourself.
Hey, there we go. My name's Andrew Gosser. I am the host of the Andrew Gosser Show from 10 to noon every Monday through Friday on WYAB. And I am a Christian first and a politician, recovering politician second, and a farmer and retired military vet, and just out there walking my walk here in Mississippi, thank God.
Yeah, so look, you've been following this thing closely. Andrew, I told you I'd stumbled across a video that I just found nauseatingly appalling. And it's a black preacher. And I just don't know. We've lost the black church. We have absolutely lost the black church, and they've lost their minds. A black preacher here just crucifying our government, making it all about politics, for having the audacity to lower the flags to half staff. I'm going to get this queued up here. We're going to play this.
Is this guy from Mississippi?
Well, Other Kane shared it, and Other is a local woke nut job. Black for a living, woke nut job. I believe he's part of the rainbow supremacy and all of that. I mean, he puts off those vibes anyway. Low testosterone at minimum. He's part of cancel culture. He was one of the reasons Barbie Bassett got fired. He's gone after me before and stuff. So he shared this. So it's already in low regard to me, based on the source. But the pastor's name, but I'm not sure where the church is. Let me see here. It's Alfred Street Baptist Church.
Alfred Street.
It's probably in Atlanta or somewhere like that. And it's pastor. This is his from on Instagram, I guess. Pastor HJW. And I ain't done a whole lot of research past that, but I did get the names there of the church but where it's at and his exact name, I'm not sure. But I want to play this for you guys, and I know it's got the screen blocked, looking kind of funky right here, but it is what it is. It's a reel from Facebook. This is a black preacher, all upset that we flying them flags at half staff for Charlie Kirk, a man of the Lord. I mean, you can say a lot you want about Charlie Kirk, but I think even the Democrats will sit there and say that he was a Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, you may not like Christians. You may disagree with that, but if you're a Christian, how do you disagree with Charlie Kirk? Let's play this.
Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated. But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America at half staff, calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land.
So right there, in the beginning of his sermon, he is doing exactly what he's accusing Charlie of doing. And he is preaching dissent right from the very beginning of his sermon. So this is already going down bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, to quote Billy Mays, but wait, there's more. Is that Billy Mays?
But wait, there's more.
Is that who that is? Billy Mays?
Billy Mays.
All right, but wait.
Rest his soul.
There's more.
And hearing people with selective rage who are mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home, tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life. I am sorry, but there's nowhere in Bible where we are taught to honor evil.
I would love to know this pastor's thoughts on George Floyd.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna bet you the farm that his thoughts on George Floyd were the complete opposite of mine.
I would agree with that, and we'd have to go back and pull up the video. But I'm telling you, just listening to this sermon is making the hair on the back of my neck stand up, because he just now mentions the Bible for the first time, and this is
the modern black church.
This is insane.
And how you die does not redeem how you lived.
Race is their new religion.
Wow.
You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life.
The enemy. Conservatives.
Yeah.
Trump.
I can abhor the violence that took your life, but I don't have to celebrate how you chose to live. I am overwhelmed.
Oh, I am too. I am too. That's one thing him and I will agree on is I'm tired, boss. I'm tired. Tired of these people.
Brother Clay, I'm just being truthful with you here. I've never listened to something like that from the pulpit. And I've gone, so one of my pastors who was my professor in college, going through St. Leo College, who was a Black Baptist preacher, and I went to his church several times. He was much liberal. I knew it. He knew it. But he never preached like that. And I mean, it wasn't even like, okay, Andy's in the crowd, I got to tone it down a little bit. You know, it was very consistent. And if that's what's being preached in the black church, there's no wonder that we're not finding any common ground.
Well, first and foremost, they need to lose their tax exempt status immediately.
That is, I don't think churches should have to worry about that no matter what. But that right there, that's not a church. It's
a breeding ground for hate.
Yeah, it's like a petri dish full of bacteria just getting ready to grow and grow and grow.
Well, this next video we're going to play here, this lady here, if logistically it makes sense for her, she should probably find this church, because this is a black woman who claims that she got up and walked out of her church because the pastor prayed for Charlie Kirk. If that didn't have you ready to fight the clouds outside this morning, this will. Here we go.
I had to walk out of church today over comments about Charlie Kirk. I'm on the verge of tears sitting in this parking lot because I'm having such a complex with my faith, because I genuinely don't understand how Christians are pushing this man as though hate didn't come out of his mouth and heart on a consistent basis. And I'm genuinely sitting here like, if this is the God that we serve, if this is the reflection of the God we serve, do I want to be a part of it? I'm truly having a conflict with my faith, because the leaders that we're supposed to be following are guiding us in this way to feel empathy and sympathy, and like that this person was this great Christian, and that the message that his wife gave was, it started off with like praising God.
Oh no.
And I'm like, did we miss the chapter of hate that he endorsed, encouraged, and pushed? I don't know where to go from here.
Hell. You're going to hell.
She needs to repent.
I don't... To spew hate and hide yourself behind a Bible, to me, is not something I want to be a part of. And it's not the faith I want to be a part of.
Then leave.
All right, that's Anton Daniels, by the way, one of my absolute favorite content creators. Black conservative from out of Michigan. Really, really good. Really, really good.
What's really interesting to me about this young lady is that she's like somehow saying hate, hate, hate. You never see her go back to scripture. You never go back that. And the thing is what is happening, and we're going to definitely talk about this on the show, is how people now are going back and actually looking at the hate that Charlie Kirk actually spoke or said that was hate.
The alleged hate.
The alleged hate. And now they're realizing, wait, this guy was dead on balls accurate, calibrated by the Bible. You know,
I listened to more than a 30-second reel. You go back and listen to the beginning and the middle of the beginning and the end of the conversation, and not just the 30 seconds of meat in the middle, which, don't get me wrong, I'm guilty. I take the sizzle and I put it out there, and you miss a lot of the context. It's like my thoughts on school choice.
Yep.
People think I just 100% against school choice. I'm not. I'm against public-to-public transfer. I'm not against what are those schools? Those special
charter schools.
I'm not against money following you to private school. I'm not against something in there for, not to make this about me, but I'm making an example. I'm not against people with learning disabilities being able to go wherever the best school for that is. I'm not against any of that. I'm just against the public for the sake of, I don't want to go to, I live in Jackson and don't want to move to Rankin, but I want to go to Rankin.
Yep.
That's what I'm against.
I think that's a fair point too, by the way.
Thank you. So, but because I don't put the sizzle reel out there with all the stuff. I just put I'm against school choice because of this. I don't have in there what I'm a force. Everybody just assumes I dislike all of it. And I know this because of a conversation I had with an extremely influential individual the other day that was all bothered because of my stance on school choice. Same thing with Charlie Kirk. He talks about live by the gun, die by the gun. Those aren't his words, but long story short.
I've got that actual whole quote. It's like 4 paragraphs long. I'm going to read the whole thing because that is the kind of thing that the mainstream media and these preachers are getting behind the pulpit saying hate, 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 and they're missing it. It's like, Clay, you know what it's like? It's like someone reading one Bible verse and not reading the 2 before and the 2 after to get the full context of what the Bible verse actually is. And that causes problems for not just these people here, but for you personally in your own walk. You're going to have contextual problems. And it's important that we get the full context of that. Listening to that black preacher, wherever he was, I didn't hear any scripture. I didn't hear any biblical doctrine. All I heard was a lot of anger and a lot of rage. And, that's the one thing. Charlie talked about it. If he wanted to be known, what would he be known for? His faith. And you can go up there and get on Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, or X. You can get on TikTok. You can get on Instagram. And you can go listen to him talk. And then you make that individual decision. We as Christians, we're supposed to go in front of our pastor, and as he's preaching the word, we're supposed to judge him and make sure that our pastor is actually preaching us correct doctrine. Yep. And I just don't hear the correct doctrine there. And my pastor knows that if I had a problem with something, I'd say, hey, pastor, why did you do this? And he'd probably explain it to me and be like, yep, I was wrong. Or in the rare instance, hey, maybe this could have been this way. Well, maybe. But, that's just, that right there is not boding well for the unity of the country moving forward, if that's what's the mainstream church in Black America.
That's it. Let's take a break real quick. When we come back, a liberal outlet here in Mississippi, the Mississippi Department of Propaganda, has shared what they call receipts on Charlie Kirk's hate. And I want to dissect him a little bit and give some context. And I want to do this with Andrew here in the studio. And we'll talk about anything Andrew wants to hit too. But I think this is some really good information. We'll be right back here on The Clay Edwards Show. The Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Burgers, Blues, Barbecue. The Blue Plate special of the day is, let's see here, what day is it? Today is Monday. Blue Plate menu. Red beans and rice with sausage. Hamburger steak. Those two are available every day. Today's alternating meat is fried chicken. Besides mashed potatoes, green beans, and potato salad. Man, I love a good potato salad. I went by Burgers Blues Barbecue Thursday night before the Hardy concert with Michael and Lee, and we got the sriracha chicken sliders. Guys, if you like a fried chicken with like a wing sauce on it, the sriracha sauce, it's like a sweet sriracha, honey sriracha, I think is what it's called, or something like that. It is fine. They're on like a Hawaiian roll. We get a side with it, 2 sliders. It's the perfect amount of food where you're not miserable and you're not hungry when you get done. And check them out. Also, consider them and their tailgate menu for all your upcoming, tailgates. And they got it all, whether you're backing up at a high school football game or you're going up to the Grove or the Junction or down to Hattiesburg or down to Veterans Memorial for JSU or wherever else you may be partaking in some football across the state. Burgers Blues Barbecue has got the perfect options with their tailgate menu. You can go view it at burgersblues.com. Just click tailgate menu, and you can get barbecue by the bulk. You can get queso dip by the bulk, brisket, pork, red beans and rice, nachos, baked chicken, smoked chicken, desserts. They got it all, man. The perfect tailgate menu. You'll be the rock star of the party if you show up with some Burgers Blues Barbecue tailgating menu options. Swing by, see them at all 3 great locations today: Madison, Brandon, downtown Brandon, and, of course, Dogwood and Flowwood. And don't forget, Madison is open right now for breakfast. Swing by and check them out. Also, if you're watching what you eat, want a little protein, check out one of their B3 bowls. You kind of build it yourself. It's really cool. They're very, very popular there. Check them out online, burgersblues.com. You can order online and have it delivered from their website through local delivery. Take a break deliveries. You don't even have to go to another site. Don't have to go to a third party. You can all do it directly from their website. They did a great job on this website too, by the way. Really commend them on the work that went into all the pictures of the food. Every menu, every item's got a picture, just about. That goes a long way. All right, back to the party. Andrew Gosser.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to read a few things here. I got to adjust you. You keep moving over there.
Yeah.
I got to get you back on camera. You get comfortable, my friend. We'll move the camera.
All righty.
Andrew's dealing with some stuff, man, so we're going to work around Andrew's ailments.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Did it again.
Where it jumps off?
Yeah. Y'all got to bear with me 1 second here. I got to go back and find this again. If you leave the screen,
I hate that.
It doesn't say, I hate Facebook.
Yep.
Mississippi Department of Propaganda. Such a correct name, because this guy spews a lot of propaganda. I'm almost there. They tried to debunk or fact check to prove that Charlie Kirk is a fascist, a racist, whatever else that they want to do. They tried to come up with this list, and they linked it all. And I'm going through, and I'm like, well, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. What is the bad here? My definition of fascist and theirs definitely not the same thing. To me, they're all fascist. And
people are finding that out, Clay, is that people have said that this is fascist, and they're completely off the mark.
So it says, these are the receipts for Charlie Kirk in his own words to prove that Charlie Kirk is a fascist. And it says, but they're taken out of context. I don't think it even requires context, but here we go. It says, on black people. So it's on black people, and then this is a Charlie quote. Mm-hmm. And then it's got a link to where the quote came from. It says, happening all the time in urban America, prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. It's happening more and more. But where's the lie? Where's the lie? Look at the woman on the bus.
Yep.
For just one.
Just a week ago.
When this is a national, I could do this shit. I could do this stuff all day.
Yep.
Like on black pilots. And I know where this came from because I've said the same thing. It says, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. But talk about context lacking. That was talking about DEI and how DEI is bad for black people, because now when you see somebody black in a position, you can't help but wonder, are they a DEI hire?
United actually lowered the standard.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, but flying airplanes, that's really difficult. And you do not want somebody who barely passed the landing proficiency, let alone the cruise proficiency, let alone the takeoff proficiency, and now he's flying a 737. No. And I would say the same thing about, it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Indian, Jew, Gentile.
There should be one test.
One test.
There should be one test. Either you pass it or you don't.
Yep.
It's like when the Mississippi Highway Patrol lowered their physical fitness requirements for a particular blonde trooper that's no longer at MHP to pass the physical test so she could become a trooper. And guess who ain't a trooper no more? You know what I mean? Because you start lowering the standards and you start making what's the word I'm looking for? Start making not examples, but whatever. You start changing the rules so people can pass. Then lo and behold, you start moving the goalpost, this, that, and the other. Yeah. Next thing you know, they think they can get away with everything all the time. And then when it actually punches them in the face that they can't, they're like, but.
They passed the test.
Exactly. All right, continuing on here. On the Civil Rights Act, quote, "We made a huge mistake when we passed the Civil Rights Act of the 1960s. And man, talk about leaving out all the context.
If you just take that in it by itself, I could see where someone would get upset. But you got to know that there's a whole lot more to that, and that's just ridiculous.
Oh, look, I'll say this loudly and proudly: the worst thing that happened to black culture, to black America, was desegregation.
Yep, that and I can't think of the word now; it just escaped my brain.
I mean, they couldn't wait to run off and quit doing business with other black-owned businesses. The second they got the chance to run to the white businesses, we're going to show them they don't want us. We're going to force us upon them. And what did it do? Is it killed black businesses?
It did, and not only that, people look at it now and they're like, "How come everybody went away? How come everybody went away?" If you could get out of Jackson, you got out of Jackson. If you couldn't get out of Jackson, you're stuck there.
All right, on the death penalty, quote, "Death penalties should be public, should be quick, should be televised. I think at a certain age, it's an initiation. At what age should you start to see public executions?" What's fascist about thinking that we should have the death penalty for people who have deserved and earned the death penalty? And it should be televised.
See, I think that I'm all for the death penalty. I'm not for the televised. Putting it on TV for people to see.
Oh, I am. They can choose not to watch it. I think that's how you start getting these trans nut jobs to pay attention. And it's like, this ain't going to end the way you think it's going to end. On Democrats, the Democrat Party supports everything God hates. Again, what? No lies. Where's the lie? Where the cap?
Yep. Abortion. Homosexuality. Open borders is a big one. People often misquote the Bible in the Old Testament, and if they actually go to Deuteronomy 28, you'll actually see where it talks about how you have these open borders, and the more and more you allow it in, you're no longer the lender, you're the borrower, you're no longer the landowner, you are the renter, and it's really a fascinating read.
Mm-hmm. On empathy, quote, "I can't stand the word empathy. Actually, I think empathy is made up New Age term that does a lot of damage." 100%. 100%. How about we're strict and we don't we're not going to let empathy get in the way of reality.
Unfortunately, that's what's happening.
Consequences, accountability.
With the furry community, with the transgender community, you have to respect my truth. There's not my truth, Clay. It's not your truth, Clay. It's just the truth.
Amen. On feminism, Kirk says, "Reject feminism. Submit to your husband. You're not in charge." Facts. If you get married, when you get married, the vow you take says that you will bow to your husband. In so many words,
Charlie, the Bible says, "Husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church." And that means, it doesn't mean that you're going around there saying, do this like that, do this like that. You're not being like this overlord, but you're supposed to act Christ-like. And it says, ladies, love your husbands and obey him, and obey like Christ loved the church. And that's the whole fact of it, is that people get that all mixed up, and then they go down a road that ends up putting them in a spot where they don't want to be. And it's just facts.
Women, a lot of y'all are single right now because you didn't obey your husbands. I mean, and men, a lot of y'all are single because you didn't obey the Bible.
Yep. And the other thing, too, is what feminism has caused is a lot of 30-something ladies who are now having their biological bomb clocks going off because they're not mamas, and they just thought they were going to juice it up in the 20s. Look, we're Gen Xers, dude. We know what we did in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a sinner, and I repent for it. Oh my goodness. But my point is that we had lived that life, and now all of a sudden there's this whole new group that didn't have kids, and now they're looking for purpose or looking for a way forward, and they're not going to have that.
Yeah, they're seeing where a lot of women in their age group are getting ready to be grandmas.
Yep.
And they never had any kids by choice.
And the greatest title you can ever get is mom or dad.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
all right. Continuing on with what they're calling Charlie Kirk's fascist remarks on George Floyd. This guy was a scumbag. But yeah, I mean, he was a scumbag on every sense of the word. But because he died a quote unquote social justice martyr, even if I want to pretend for 1 second that he didn't commit suicide that day with Derek Chauvin's knee in the back of his shoulders, if I want to pretend he didn't commit suicide, I want to go along with Chauvin killed him. That doesn't erase all the other bad things he did in his life. He got himself arrested. He effed around. He found out. End of discussion.
He was arrested for
putting a gun to a pregnant woman's belly.
Passing fake money.
Oh yeah, that day, yeah.
And then there's a picture of him popping something in his mouth. It looks like a pill. Do we know it's a pill? No, we don't. It's clear as day.
It was a bunch of fentanyl.
Yeah, and then you look at the toxicology account of Floyd, and it's in his systems. So it's to me, I think that argument is not valid.
All right, I'm going to skip down here because I know we got to cut this. We got to go to break, and you got to go.
Yep.
On guns, this is the one that keeps getting taken out of context. Says it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we have the Second Amendment. Well, that is just facts.
Yep.
Gun deaths are unfortunate, but they are a price you pay to have full protection from your government and from evil.
And that is
not full protection, but the ability to fight back. Because bad guys don't pay attention to signs that say no guns.
The inherent right to self-defense should never be denied. And we in the United States believe that we have a right to firearms to protect ourselves from a tyrannical government. And we're going to talk about that because I've got the whole 4 or 5 paragraph outlier of that. And that's the thing with the left. They'll like to get you. They're so slogans and sound bites. There are no facts or solutions. And that's where it's at.
That's Andrew Gosser. You can listen to him right here on WYAB. As soon as my show ends at 10, his will start today. And usually mine ends at 9. There's something in between. It's a multitude of different shows around here on the 9 o'clock hour, depending on the day. But Andrew's live from 10 to noon on WYAB, and he streams to his Rumble account at Andrew Gosser.
Yes, sir.
Gasser. We'll be right back for another 20 minutes-ish of The Clay Edwards Show.
That's right.
Welcome back into The Clay Edwards Show, here live on WYAB. From the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios, this segment brought to you by our friends over at Martin's Downtown and Martin's Livingston. Today's Blue Plate special at both locations is fried or grilled pork chops. Man, oh man, I'm telling you, try that hash brown casserole as a side too over there. And did you know if you get a side salad at Martin's or their wedge salad, it is served with that famous salad, the Salad Days that I've been talking about so much. It's made right here in Flora. Oh, so good lettuce. Oh, so good lettuce. You can actually get the whole heads of it from the market at Livingston, too, if you're in the area. And don't forget, Martin's Market there at Livingston is open for breakfast. They've got great Southern-style chicken biscuits, sausage and biscuits, smoked or pattied. Really, really good stuff over there at the Livingston location. And, of course, the lunch is my personal favorite. Calvin steak bites are great. The pasta is phenomenal. The steak is good. I've never had anything on that Martin's menu that I didn't really, really love. I went up there a few weeks ago in the evening time, and we just got like 3 or 4 different appetizers and just shared them. I could have eaten any one of them as a meal. It was that good. Check them out. That's Martin's. They've constantly got great live entertainment coming. I could spend the rest of the show talking about all the upcoming live entertainment. Check out their Facebook pages or their website, Martin's Downtown, JXN.com or MartinsLivingston.com. Check out the new venue they got up there in the old church building. It's Livingston Live. They're doing some shows there now. Going to be a great time. A lot going on at Martin's Downtown in Jackson and Martin's Livingston in Gluckstadt or Madison County. All right, so good stuff there. I could spend the rest of the show reading the rest of that list of different things that they were trying to debunk about Charlie Kirk, calling him a fascist, racist, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Pound sand and die angry, Democrats. That's all I care about. Let's shift gears. I wanted to play some of Erica Kirk's speech, but I think you've seen enough of that over the weekend. We've talked about the shooter having a transgender boyfriend. What a fancy way of saying you're not gay. I've dated a trans woman. Yeah, you're gay. Gay! You're gay. Super duper gay. And you're a homophobe at the same time. You're gay, but don't want to tell nobody you're gay. That's like super duper homophobe. Let's shift gears. Speaking of Democrats behaving badly, Donald Trump is sending the National Guard into Memphis, and Trump says, only I can save them. He's oh so right. It's funny. Trump also took credit for the 25-year alleged low in crime up there just because of the work that the feds have been doing, kind of going in there. So I kind of been getting a big chuckle out of it. He's got them all big mad up there in Memphis. They're ready to go to war over this. I love their little dumb sayings. They're going to be war over this. No, it ain't. Y'all going to go to jail. That's all that's going to happen. They're going to pull up, they're going to snatch y'all up, and you're going to go to jail. And if you F around and decide to try to shoot one of them, you're going to go to hell before you go to jail. Mama going to have to be planning a funeral, getting some airbrush shirts with your fake angel wings on them, and there should really be a devil tail because we know you're going to hell, not heaven. They're going to be starting to GoFundMe. There's going to be a run on pigeons in the area, so y'all going to have a bird release, and then some people are going to get shot at the pigeon release because it's just a vicious cycle of culture rot in cities like Memphis and Jackson. It's the same thing, different city. That's all that's going to happen when Trump sends in the military. And shout out to the Pony Strip Club up there in Memphis, the world famous The Pony. They are letting National Guardsmen in free because even the strip club knows that Memphis is ate up with Democrat death culture rot. Here's the story from WLBT. It says President Donald Trump says he is sending the National Guard to Memphis to help combat crime. The president, Donald Trump, made the announcement on Fox News Friday morning. Details on the deployment, how and when troops will arrive in the city have not been made public. Governor Bill Lee says he will speak with Trump on Friday afternoon to work the details of the plan. Quote, as one of America's world-class cities, they need to be speaking in past tense, Memphis remains on a path to greatness, and we are not going to let anything hold them back, Lee said in a statement. Trump said the city is deeply troubled and that we're going to fix it just like we did Washington, where he sent the National Guard and surged federal law enforcement. Trump says Mayor Paul Young and Governor Bill Lee were happy with the decision. Trump said that he would, quote, would have preferred going to Chicago, where local politicians have fiercely resisted his plan, but he suggested it was, quote, a hostile place with professional agitators. Trump claims that the decision to send troops to Memphis instead after talking to a friend on the board at FedEx. Quote, he said, when I walk 1 block to my hotel, they won't allow me to do it. They put me in an armored vehicle with bulletproof glass to take me 1 block, he said. It's so terrible, Trump said. So we're going to Memphis. I'm just announcing that now. We'll straighten that out. National Guard and anybody else we need. And by the way, we'll bring in the military too if we need it. But the National Guard. Trump says only I can save them. I love it. I love Big Daddy Trump. He's my Lord and Savior. He truly is. He's going to save us from these Democrats. He's going to save us from the Democrats. You may be asking yourself, well, man, what about John Horn in Jackson? Because we need the military here too. We need the National Guard here. And look, sometimes I say National Guard, I mean military. Sometimes I say military, I mean National Guard. You can decipher which one's which. If I'm wrong, you can fix it. Mayor John Horn says the city needs help fighting crime, but not the National Guard. He just wants more money. He's starting to sound a lot like Chokwe Lumumba. Horn spoke to WLBT on Friday where he said he didn't think it was appropriate for the National Guard to be deployed into the state's largest city right now. He said he would welcome help from the White House and said that the city is working with the FBI and other federal agencies to get crime down. Quote, an offer of helpful resources for more police officers, equipment, and technology. That's what we need from the White House, he said, not the Guard. Horn was responding to a question to the news that the troops were going to be deployed to Memphis to help address violent crime. Quote, I believe that the statistics that were cited by the White House were old statistics, he said. If you look at where we are in 2025, we do have homicides, and there are homicides happening all over the country. Well, you do have homicides, and you're still leading the country in homicides per capita. And I'm still not completely convinced that we ain't not reporting some stuff. And I know we're not properly reporting crime because I speak to people every day who have called 911 and get no damn answer. Ignoring the crime is not fixing the crime. There's a big difference there, John. Don't get started off on the wrong foot with me because I can be hell for the next 4 years if that's the game you want to play. We'll be right back to land the plane for the day here on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. 3 hours today. Put a fork in me. I've done all the talking I want to do for a couple hours. Y'all be blessed.